place, where we are born, the neighborhoods we grow up in. Our education and access to resources can all define who we may become as adults. 50 years ago, the Lakeshore High School class of 1972 graduated. And tonight, I had the opportunity to ask a few of my classmates their reflections on growing up in St. Clair Shores, attending Lakeshore High School, and the advice they would give their younger selves and the world today. Here's what they shared.
I wanted to see how everybody was doing because it was such a great place to go to school. And I was hoping to see some old grade school and junior high classmates.
Just to see who I could remember, who I'd run into, have some laughs, tell a joke.
I think I've missed a reunion in 50 years.
Curiosity.
And to see old friends.
Yes.
50 years. I figured it should be interesting after 50 years.
Big accomplishment, yep.
And then 50 years is just a staggering amount of time that's passed.
Well, I just had a real need to see some old friends.
Well, there's a lot of people I wanted to see that I hadn't seen for a long time.
And I was truly interested in just seeing who was going to show up.
To see old friends, to connect with people I haven't seen for so many years, and to enjoy catching up with them.
All of my teachers, Mr. Lewis for English and Paragon for government, and there were just so many teachers that were really, really great.
AP English, because there were so many dramatic conversations and discussions about life.
Miss Cleary's chemistry class, and on Fridays, she used to let us sneak out and go to the Dunkin' Donuts and bring them back for class.
Had a lot of fun with hockey cheerleading.
I think the hockey games, when Danny Daniels would have us do spot to the other school, that was a blast.
I enjoyed being with the people. We had a great class.
I think just the friendships, which I've maintained several of them for 50 years.
Just staying alive. We lived in turbulent times.
Smacking Mark Shaley, who was being obnoxious in 11th grade, and then I started dating him, and then I married him.
I
and
like
I
it.
Smacked him right off the chair.
I like it. Mine would be the group of friends that I hung with that we called the Pack.
Mr. Rappa was fantastic. He set the groundwork in mathematics that helped me pass all my fire department exams. If it wasn't for him, I don't know if I would have made it, but he was great.
All the band activities, the band of fun. I was really a band geek.
I think I had very memorable moments playing at the halftime shows and going and playing concerts here and there wherever we traveled to, and then the parades. You know, we were always in a lot of the parades.
Well, one of the ones that maybe was the most memorable was when I climbed on top of a bowling alley with half a dozen other people and painted over whatever was there and then wrote LS72 so that all of history would remember that we were here.
My two grandsons, 2 and 4.
That would definitely be my 2 children, and I have 5 grandchildren.
I'm most proud of my children. I have 2 grown daughters that are beautiful, wonderful people.
My daughter and my grandchildren.
Ditto. My daughters.
I would say my family, yes, my kids.
Kids and grandkids, I think, put at the top.
Marrying my husband Steve for 47 years, 2 children, completing my doctorate, and having a nice long career that I finally retired from.
I think my career and my 4 grandkids.
I have a wonderful wife of 42 years and 2 great sons, and going to have my first grandchild next week.
Marrying my wife. We got married in 1977. But I would say, other than that personal thing, I think it's actually graduating from medical school and having a 30-year medical career that I'm very happy with.
I've spent the last 30 years teaching middle school and high school math, and I've really enjoyed that experience.
Well, I married my bride who graduated from Lakeshore in 1974, and we've been married 48 years. 10 grandchildren, 3 children, 10 grandchildren, 2 great-grandchildren. And I lived with 4 women for all those years, and I still get along with all of them.
I went and worked with Candace Miller in her last half of her Secretary of State, and then on to when she made it into Congress. And my last career was a sales lady for the Sterling Heights Regional Chamber of Commerce. So all of my jobs have been communication, people related, and it's always been a lot of fun things to do, meeting new people all the time.
My stepdad was Art Lattice. He was a juvenile officer. I had to watch my P's and Q's, so I learned discipline at a very young age.
Well, maybe being an example of God's grace and mercy and forgiveness.
I think I would tell myself to be more outgoing. I was always very, very shy. I still am to some degree.
Don't be so shy.
Don't take life so seriously. Live life every day.
Enjoy the moment.
I would be just to be yourself, just to be you, and not to let anybody else get in the way.
My younger self would be, don't take things so hard. Accept them, learn from them, don't be hurt from them.
Stop and take life in as it comes, as thoughtfully as you can.
Don't worry so much. Just be yourself.
Stay out of trouble.
Sign a prenup.
Study harder.
To do better in college.
Be a better student. I wasn't a very good high school student. I had to go into the Navy for 4 years to figure out what life was all about, and then I was really anxious to go back to school, which I did. Went to college, graduated from ASU in Arizona, and got into the banking industry and retired 6 years ago.
Pay attention more often. Don't get distracted. Don't always want to go play baseball rather than doing your homework.
Wear sensible shoes, because my ankles are awful, and don't work so hard, so long, so much.
You know, don't give up and be able to support yourself.
Be more fearless. Do not worry about what other people think of you.
I'm good with what I did.
I love growing up in
I did too. And
we
when
had freedom as kids.
When I come back to visit, it's really a wonderful little town.
What was a small town at that time, I know it's not anymore, but I think that was the thing that I liked the most.
Just a great sense of community, camaraderie, and friendship. I loved the community that we had. We had neighbors that looked out for each other. My mother was one of the rare working moms of the time. We had a neighborhood that was my village and cared for me. And we just had a lot of fun.
I just think the tight community, the people you grew up with, that you stayed in contact with, being close to the water.
I think it made me appreciate the lakes.
I mean, we grew up and our timer was when the street lights came on. There was 5 kids in my family, and you'd be home when the street lights came on, and you weren't given 1, 2, or 3 chances. I mean, that was it.
I loved growing up in St. Clair Shores. I lived in a little area called Gaffkey Park. It was very neighbor friendly. I knew all of my neighbors. We all had kids the same age, and it was just really a lovely place to grow up.
It really is a great place to raise children.
It was a wonderful place to grow up. If you think about the time, the 50s, the 60s, it really was a magical time to grow up.
Oh, great place to grow up. I mean, just wonderful. All the World War II veterans, like my dad, moved up to St. Clair Shores and bought houses, and we went to public schools, and couldn't have been a better lifestyle.
I tell my children stories of Violet and Evergreen and all the streets we grew up in, all the boys and all their garage bands and all their fun times and climbing trees, and Laurel and I
just hanging out.
Beginning at age 6, I helped my brother on his paper route. At age 10, I took it over till 16. So I was always working, always paying for a good part of my own personal property and clothes and guitars. Something about the working class upbringing that is very sobering and very maturing, I think.
Didn't know how privileged that I was until I lived in some other places.
I love living in St. Clair Shores, and there's really no other place I think I would live if I had a choice.
I actually left for 20 years and ended coming back to St. Clair Shores.
I did, yes. I received a good education. I think I did, yes.
I did. I can't complain. Served me well.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yep.
I feel it was at least adequate.
If I would have paid attention, yes.
Definitely, yes. We always had like psychology and sociology. We had a big assortment to choose from. Definitely good.
I do think I received a pretty good education from Lakeshore High School. I loved my teachers, was very involved in athletics. I was a cheerleader and a gymnast, and I went on to pursue my gymnastics at Michigan State University because of my physical education teacher.
I absolutely did. When I moved, like I said, it was October of my junior year. I was really above, I think academically, where my peers were when I moved. Had a great education and good memories of some great teachers.
Yeah, I think I did. Well, I should have made better of it, but for what they had to offer compared to public schools today, it was pretty darn good.
Oh, yes.
I think so.
I did. I love my teachers. Mr. Keenan and Cheryl Burns. Oh my gosh. There was, yeah.
Miss Erler. I skipped her class one time, but she understood when I explained why.
No, they were great. Great teachers.
I do. I actually was very lucky to have some of the best teachers there. Dorothy Eggleston, math teacher.
I did. And the first time I ever tried to skip school, I got caught. So I realized that wasn't a good thing to do.
I did, and had some great teachers, and I remembered not just what they taught me, but how they treated me and how they encouraged me to be the best me that I could ever be.
Just everyone, I think, would say this, to be kind to one another and to help one another and to support one another, for sure.
I think the one piece of advice I would give to the world right now is please be kind to each other.
To be kind, to think about others first and yourself second, to love till it hurts, and to give instead of take.
Well, first of all, I can't believe it's been a half century, but my advice would be to really try to follow where your heart's taking you. Don't let others tell you you can't do it. You can do it, and then just stay true to your true north.
I would say listen, pay attention, educate yourself. Don't be afraid of people who are different from you. Learn from them. Be empathetic.
I would say to the world, as the Beatles said, all we need is love.
You
Take
do you.
care of it.
And you do you. Be you.
Be mindful, be kind.
Be open, meet new people, go new places.
Stop and take life in as it comes, as thoughtfully as you can, and learn from it.
Live life, strive for your goals, and don't give up.
In these days and times, try to get along better and be more cordial to each other and forget about all these political differences.
I would say let's not get so mixed up in all the controversies that we deal with every day. Let's chill just a little bit and take a deep breath, and let's not be so angry all the time.
Enjoy every day, because you don't know what tomorrow's going to bring.
Well, make the most of every day. You never know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Enjoy life. Praise God.
Make love, not war.
It's wonderful to be here. I've had such a great time, and it's such a pleasure. Thank you.
Just for all the folks who couldn't be here that I was hoping to see, I wish you had been here, and I hope you're all well.
I'd like to find Paul Fisher and say hello.
I want to thank Lita and Dottie for putting this shindig together. It's been great. Good place to do it. People are great. It's just great to get in contact with old friends again.
Thank you, Lita Pacifico, Carmelita Pacifico, and everyone who put this together, because this was a lot of work.
I really appreciate the people that put this together.
Yes.
50th reunion.
Yes.
I know it's a lot of work.
You know, I've enjoyed tonight, connected with some old friends, people I haven't seen in 50 years, and some people I have pretty regular contact with, so it's been a great night. Happy I came.
It's so great, and this time went by just way too fast tonight.
Just so happy to know all these people, and glad that they've forgotten all the goofy things I did in high school.
I would just like to say hello to everybody who sees it, and I hope to see you again.
See you at the 75th.
That's all, folks.